Hello, everyone, and welcome to our commentary on the first X-Men film, released in the year 2000 and starring a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Although the more important ones in this one will be Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen,
Berry.
Halle Berry.
Halle
Yeah.
Berry, and Famke Janssen, James Marsden, and a lot of others.
Also, should probably clarify, this is our first commentary of a Fox-owned X-Men movie. We'll explain more when the commentary begins, but by the time this has been, uploaded, you'll get the full gist.
Okay, again, just start before the 20th Century Fox logo in 3, 2, 1, click.
I'm so looking forward to the new Disney version of this logo, by the way. Dwibs, why don't you share in some of the context of nowadays?
Yeah, it's the same logo, but Mickey Mouse shows up in the corner. He's like, haha.
Yeah, basically what happened, Disney have bought Fox's film and TV divisions.
$52 billion. How do you even?
Well, Theo, gotta do something with that Marvel money.
Yep. Hiya, folks.
You just don't what the fuck am I watching?
But I get basically, Jova, now you're gonna. So what? Imagine Mickey Mouse giving this narration. This process is slow, normally taking thousands and thousands of years.
No,
South Park's way ahead of you.
This is the actual introduction to Death Stranding. Once there was an explosion.
Don't you see, Theo? It's all about conquering. First animation, then comic book movies,
world.
and then the world.
Don't forget video games.
And of course, since it's an early 2000 movie, needs to start with those weird sequences.
That's a laugh. In association with the Marvel Entertainment Group. Yeah, that's back when, a certain Pearl wasn't so vindictive against them.
If you're one of the two people who lived under a rock for all these years and don't know who the X-Men are, essentially a group in the Marvel universe that instead of being exposed to, like, say, radiation or being victim to chemical experiments, they are literally genetic mutations of mankind with particular powers, specific one for each. And as such, they're used as a surrogate for racism, theme, and such. Anyway, we start in Nazi-conquered Poland.
Yep.
Yeah, basically this is where all the Jews have been gathered and all the bad shit has gone down.
Abek Tmak Frei. That's what was written on it.
All right. I've actually got a really controversial opinion regarding this series, but
oh my god, I just realized.
Not really. There's plenty of people that have that opinion. I know what you're gonna say. There's plenty of people that have that opinion. It's not at all controversial.
For the most part, I actually enjoy the better X-Men movies than I do most of the better MCU movies.
Yeah, plenty of people say that.
Mainly because mainly because I think these films have a better handle of tone. They know when to be funny, but they also know when to be serious, and especially with a subject matter that the X-Men deals with, you kind of need a good balance.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends a lot on subject matter, guys. I mean, the MCU has plenty of comedies because a lot of their properties allow for comedy.
See, part of the reason
the X-Men are all about racism and stuff, so you're not gonna see clowns around everywhere.
Yeah.
And what's the weirdest thing is,
So there you go. A young Jewish boy gets separated from his parents. So what's gonna happen?
Oh my god!
What's gonna happen after? Sorry, go on.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
Imagine, considering X-Men is really an allegory for racism and tolerance and all that shit. Imagine an X-Men animated film made by the creators of Zootopia.
Oh.
That would be wonderful. By the way, I just realized
I'm not sure what's going to happen.
And there we go.
But I think this is actually the longest running canon in superhero films. It's been going on 17 years.
You're right.
In this act of desperation, these kids develop one of the most frightening mutant powers ever seen.
He's a metal bender.
Pretty much, the master of magnetism.
Reminds me of that cartoon where Spider-Man went up against Dr. Magneto.
Yeah.
Well, Jova, technically, Spider-Man actually fought Magneto during the Acts of Vengeance, but we don't talk about those.
This is actually one of the beginning movies where it helped to define the superhero film genre we see it today.
That said, though, sadly, a lot of people, while quite a few people did come to see this movie, X-Men weren't, as shall we say, up front and center except for Wolverine. Because Wolverine publicity.
Yeah.
Well, there were plenty of people who grew up with the anime.
Oh, there were plenty
Yeah,
of
I-
people
I
who
was
grew up.
about to
I'm talking
say
about, though, in the
also,
world
yeah.
of cinema, though.
Okay, now again, I like this movie, but this particular chick right here is one thing that I've been
Oh,
constantly.
Rogue.
Okay.
I forgot.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this right now. I do not really like these cinematic universes take on Rogue.
Again, I don't
To be
read.
honest,
I don't.
gotcha.
Okay, again, I'll get this straight right now. I don't read comics, so I could care less what their comic renditions are. If the film's version is good, and yeah, again, that's just that. If the film version's good, that's all fine by me, because it doesn't matter what changes you make to me, as long as it's entertaining and engaging to watch.
Unless you kind of make Captain America a Nazi.
Yeah.
I don't care how well written that is stupid.
It's just a thing to it. That's just the problem, Dwibs. It's exactly because of the fact that they stray away from her comic self that she's so terrible. That's the
So
problem.
there you
with
go.
it.
You're
Rogue's
always
mutant
walking-
power are to suck away
Life
things
out.
from people.
You always
yeah.
You always have to walk a really fine line when it comes to comic book films. I mean that you have to change some bits to appeal to general audiences,
Sure.
but you also got to be careful not to stray too much, because otherwise it might not even be just comic book fans that notice. The general public might think it's skew with not just in terms of like how faithful the character is, but just how it comes off in general.
Despite this, if I have to be honest, Jove, I never really particularly cared for Rogue in general.
Oh, no, I don't blame you there either.
Hello there, I remember this actor. He was in a very shitty TV movie about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, let's try and forget about that. So, anyway, for me, there's a general rule of thumb when it comes to, superhero movies based off of comics. It's like, well, if the comic itself is crap, then by all means change some things. But
Civil War.
Yeah.
yes, however, when it comes to origins and whatnot, I get making changes, but here's the thing. When it gets to the point when it feels like you're just making changes for the sake of what you think the cinematic audience want, then you have a problem. Like, okay, I get adapting parts of it, but don't change it entirely just so it suits what you think the cinematic audience
Besides, if
want.
it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
What is it? One of the best examples I can think of is what they did in Captain America: First Avenger. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's been a year since I've read comics, so maybe it's actually based on one. But one particular detail from First Avenger was I love how they had this thing where the formula doesn't just give him superpowers; it also amplifies what the person actually is. As in, good people become great, bad people become terrorists.
Oh, hey,
Wow,
Picard.
yeah, that's Patrick Stewart playing Professor Xavier, and also that
Perfect.
woman.
Yeah, and I would like to say that's ideal casting if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we forgot to mention Jean Grey. She's played by Famke Janssen, aka the horny woman from Goldeneye.
Don't care. I don't really care for Jean Grey in the comics. Well,
Yeah, in
okay.
general,
When she's...
I'm with Jove. I want to stay away as far as possible from Jean Grey.
Okay.
I will say this: I like Zinnia on the top. That's one of my favorite Bond villains because
Yeah.
she's so fucking kooky.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and that's part of the issue with Jean Grey in this series is that they don't play the actress to her strengths with Jean Grey, or heck, even the character of Jean Grey. Yes, the character of Jean Grey does have clear strengths, despite how jumbled up
there we
her whole spiel in the comics is.
And there's our other main, star of the show.
Yeah, Ian McKellen as
Sir Ian McKellen as a Magneto. I keep forgetting the original name.
To give you an idea, Dweb, since you're not aware of the comic stuff, like you yourself said, casting Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier it's the equivalent of casting Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. It's the most ideal casting you possibly hope for.
Well, I
No
forgot.
other
Have
actor.
Well-
you seen the 90s cartoon of the X-Men?
a few of them.
So you kind of remember how Professor X looks like.
He's
Yeah.
bald.
Well, pretty much like...
Not just that, but he's also supposed to be wise and all that stuff. And Patrick Stewart. I mean, who else?
Yeah, but Patrick Stewart's the guy you always go to for that kind of thing. I mean, he was Picard.
And in the other
Yeah.
corner here, we have Ian
the poop
McKellen,
emoji.
who is kind of perfect because when you get down,
Dun, dun, dun.
yes, it's the
Dun, dun.
Emperor.
It's funny to think that that the year after he'd be freaking Gandalf.
Fun fact, Wibbs. Up until recently, when I told Joe, but he wasn't aware that Ian McKellen was also in Return of the Jedi. He thought he was only in the prequels.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, I mean,
That's Ian McDermott.
Who?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Ian McDermott.
Oh, is it?
He was the
okay.
Emperor in Episode 6.
Oh, okay. Wasn't he also in the prequels though?
Yeah, he was in the prequels, but he was also in Episode 6.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Ian McDermott.
Wait, I thought you said
McKellen.
Ian McKellen though.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Never mind. Mistake.
It's okay. It's okay.
The
So
point
yeah.
is, it's the same actor in all 4 movies.
So Rogue is of course on the run, and yeah, here's another thing I've even had an issue with Rogue in the actual comics: how it's always rushed about how her parents apparently just rejected her because she was a mutant. Like, I get that that's a thing here and there, but in the movie, they really rush through it. I mean, heck, we don't even really see the bout of, her parents outright rejecting
Oh,
her.
very good. We get the introduction from basically the character who's gonna be the poster for this thing for all these years until recently with Logan itself.
Well, unless it's X-Men First Class, in which he's only in it, and even X-Men.
Yeah, it's there for like a second to say fuck you.
In both films, he's there for like a minute.
See, there's a big rule about Wolverine even in the comics, is that as long as you have Wolverine on the cover, it'll sell chunks, even if he's not even in the actual story.
I really wonder where did the popularity start, because again, Wolverine started as a Hulk villain, like a minor figure with very little impact on it.
Oh, fun fact.
As soon as he entered the X-Men, it exploded with popularity.
Fun fact. Hugh Jackman wasn't actually the original choice to play Wolverine. It was actually, remember the bad guy from Mission Impossible 2?
Who?
Yeah.
Doug Ray Scott. He was actually meant to be Wolverine in this movie, but because filming of Mission Impossible 2 overran, he had to pull out, and we got Hugh Jackman instead. And I think the gods must have smiled on.
All right, ladies, feast your eyes
Right.
upon this piece of meat.
Okay, I'll give a credit to the film. They actually do a good job of trying to, redo Logan's hairstyle from the comics.
Well, if
Yeah.
there's one character this universe gets right, it's Logan.
Except
Oh,
in
it's
Wolverine
a
X-Men
shame- it's a
Origins.
It's a shame they never made him actually wear the yellow jumpsuit. I would have paid to see him in
I
that.
know.
Over at X-Men Origins, you can count the number of things they got right on one hand.
All right, sorry, Teo, but for the sake of darkness and grittiness, we cannot allow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Although at least we get kind of a lampshade in this movie as well, so I'll get what I can. Jesus, that cigar is huge.
Yeah.
Who are you, Hellboy? Come on.
Right, looking at it, kid. And yeah, Hugh Jackman, he'd gone to play the character for 17 years.
He
still
said,
is?
and after
Oh,
Logan,
he said after Logan that he wants to retire. Remember, he also had a
Well, yeah.
recent fight.
If there was a movie that was perfect for him to retire from this role, it's
And also, he kind of had to fight a bit of cancer recently. Apparently, he won though. So yeah.
Yeah, he had cancer, but he got better.
of course, now people are wondering if he'll want to come back for Logan ever since Disney has now obtained the rights for X-Men. Because at some point...
honestly, Jove, I'm thinking more of the fact that Ryan Reynolds is pestering constantly to be a cameo in his Deadpool movies.
not just that. Not just that, but I mean, yeah, Logan worked because it's supposed to be Wolverine really old. But since Hugh Jackman is really getting old, I mean, you can't really go much further with this actor at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me also.
Here we go.
Yes.
I
There's
forgot,
Wolverine.
Jova.
Metal adamantium claws.
Yeah, I forgot, Jova, honestly. Did Wolverine had the ability to control every single of the three claw in specific ways in the comics?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not all the time, but there were definitely plenty of points when he did.
Depends.
I mean, because they went really creative in how he handles them.
Yeah. I think by the time he died, yes, I believe he died in... I think that arc was also called Oban Logan. Yeah, he had complete control over each one. And now currently, X-23 is Wolverine in Marvel Comics.
In due time with her.
I think that's going to be the case in the films now.
Yeah.
Until they bring Logan back from the dead in the comics.
Well, they might just reboot the thing after the current films that are already pretty much done have come out.
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean, I
happens,
guess to be
babes.
fair, the continuity line kind of ends with Old Man Logan anyway.
Oh, well, at least for the movie, remember Old Man Logan Legion was Elsewhere kind of story.
But now it's apparently the end of the line continuity-wise.
Which I mean, I'm talking films here. Honestly, I think that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, the problem is that it limits now every other film to just being a prequel, and we know who's eventually gonna make it out alive
Not just
now.
that, Jova. 17 years, and we couldn't make justice to the poor Gambit. Like, can you even imagine?
Remember, they're supposed to be a solo movie, but it's not clear
We'll
whether
see
that's
what
getting
happens
made.
in that. Yeah, you remember Origin was supposed to come out earlier, but then got delayed with the Deadpool movie when it came out and stuff like that. But my point is, yeah, there you go. All right. Gambit was essentially my favorite male X-Men. So yeah, kind of a shame.
Poor guy. Hopefully he'll get a better deal under Disney. That reminds me also, now...
Out, kid.
That reminds me, now... That reminds me, now that Disney also owns that stuff, we can finally get one of the best bromances brought to the silver screen. No one knows what that is, do you?
And Rogue was left behind. Bye.
Roll credits.
Just remind me, Jova, why.
That's cold, Logan.
Oh.
I get it, because we're in ice cold Canada.
If anything, Jova, I'm still hoping they're gonna use that as an excuse to actually bring back Storm as Black Panther's wife.
That too, yes, that too, absolutely. And also, we could also get Spidey and Deadpool finally, the tag team.
Kind of why I like X-Men 2 a bit more than this film, because Rogue don't get much screen time.
And yeah,
she just gets screen time, but not a whole lot of it.
And then X-Men 3 does its thing with Rogue, and no, I don't care if there's an alternate ending. The ending they went with is that.
It's a shame because it has one of the best fan service moments I ever appreciated in one of these movies with the Juggernaut.
And yet, they make it that Rogue gives up her powers. Never mind the fact that that's the complete antithesis to Rogue's
spoilers, Jova.
It's been out for so dang long.
It's been out since 2006.
I apologize to all the newborns or something who don't know about it yet.
Yeah, the 9-month-olds who are listening to this commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dwebs, question, since you actually saw Logan. This scene is very similar to the one in The Last of Us. Is there an equivalent of this in Logan as well?
Sort of, but again, the main female protagonist in there is quite a bit younger than Ellie, and also they got Patrick Stewart hanging around with him.
Mm-hmm. So is she gonna start reading porno magazines as well?
No,
I know she is, and I'm just
She actually tries to do more stuff people her age would do.
Speaking of which, was there any reason why Rogue just disappears after the third movie and Bobby kind of dumps her for Ellen Page?
Unlike Ellie, she actually grew up in a normal world.
Well, I think Joe was talking about the movies.
I was just thinking your point, not Jova's.
All right. Well, again, I don't like Rogue, so I don't really care.
Oh, I get.
Dweebs, who did the score for this movie? I forgot.
It was a funny thing. It was yeah, whoops.
That would normally kill a man.
Yeah, but this is Wolverine,
that's why you put Seal back.
It's funny you mentioned that. It was supposed to be John Ottman, Bryan Singer's usual go-to guy, but John Ottman had to pull out because he was doing something else, and he couldn't even edit the movie either because that's also his shtick. He's a composer and an editor, so for the composing, they had to get Michael Kamen in.
Come on, Logan.
AKA, if you don't know Michael Kamen, he's done scores for the first 3 Die Hard films and also License to Kill from James Bond, and some others here and there.
If I remember correctly, he came back for the sequel. John Ottman.
Yeah, John Ottman did X-Men 2, and then he did Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
Well, shit.
Basically, all the Bryan Singer one.
Come on, Rogue, you just need to shake the controller vigorously in order to remove yourself from the seatbelt. And there you go, that's the main power that Wolverine has, regeneration.
Yeah,
healing
Wolverine
factor.
is Jesus.
Fucking stuck, man.
Okay, how exactly are you stuck again?
So how that tree could have fell?
Oh, and another thing, the story was done by Tom DeSanto and Brian Singer, the actual script was done by David Hayter.
Yep.
Huh.
Nice.
Solid Snake wrote this one.
Well, and also I think there might have been a couple of there might have been a ghostwriter here and there. Let me check.
Jesus.
Hey, that doesn't look like Leave.
Chris McQuarrie, who's another worker who does work with Singer now. He's a director and writer of himself.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did do some stuff, but Hayter also rewrote that bit too. So this is pretty much a Hayter script.
Hi there, Catwoman.
Not just that, Jova. Can you believe she was also in the Flintstones movie?
Yeah. Also, who's the guy playing Sabretooth in this movie?
A guy. I think I don't know. I'll check.
How ironic, isn't it, that Sabretooth is kind of played by someone who we don't recognize as easily here, yet in Origins he's played by Leave.
Let's try it. Tyler Mane is Sabretooth. He's apparently his main shtick was that he was a professional wrestler.
Ah, hi Toad.
But then he moved on to hi, it's Ray Park, aka Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace.
Really? He looks a lot shorter in this film.
Yeah, camera work and stuff like that. I
And
mean,
he actually has
okay.
a personality.
Okay, my thing about Ray Park is he's fine as long as he doesn't talk. Because as we've seen in stuff like Ballistic, he is a terrible actor, but he's a very good stunt guy.
That explains a lot now, considering his role in this movie.
Hell, his lines were actually dubbed over in Phantom Menace. So
Wait,
even George
Darth
Lucas
Maul?
knew when stuff doesn't work.
Darth Maul had lines? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Only like two, I think.
He had lines, but
two exact phrases, something like "Finally, we can avenge of a
Oh,
dragon."
I'm remembering now. That scene where he turns to the Emperor and goes, "At last, we'll have our revenge against the Jedi." Revenge for what? Who are you, you dipshit?
Was that explained in Old Republic?
Focus, Pedro, focus.
I think still Jova expanded material doesn't suit with Pedro.
I don't have a problem with the expanded universe. I'm not even aware of it, so it's not like I have any opinion of it.
Hi, Jean.
Jean. I mean, regardless of the movie or the comic, Dweebs, Jean is one of the most bizarre characters you will ever encounter in a piece of media.
Jean is Jean.
I mean, just like in Kara said, trying to understand her backstory is a suicide.
Jean is like one of those few cases where...
Oh, jeez.
Let's just say, it's like Doug said once, there's a difference between being intentionally complex and sloppily complex.
Yeah, Jean is one of those cases where, I'm honestly okay with them.
It's the perfect example of everything that's wrong with continuous comic stories and keeping the characters alive all the time.
It's to the point where you could have Jean Grey be a villain and people wouldn't complain because, she's been there.
Which she was as Dark Phoenix multiple times.
There was her Dark Phoenix phase, there was her regular Phoenix phase, there was her X-Girl, Marvel Girl phase. Yes, there was at some point when she was called Marvel Girl. That was stupid.
We've done everything with her character.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ah, yes, a hoodie. That'll totally keep you nice and inconspicuous.
Logan, in order to avoid friction, you also put like a shirt under the hoodie.
Little does he know that there's a telepath in the house.
More than one. Or are they doing the version of Jean Grey who's not a telepath, just
I think Jean Grey has telepathy here too.
Yeah.
Jean Grey has so many powers too.
as the plot.
Maybe,
at least,
maybe
at
they
least
had
with
to pick some out of a hat.
At least with Jubilee, when she changed powers, it was consistent. It was very limited.
Oh, by the way, screw this continuity for cutting out Jubilee when they clearly had the chance.
Yeah.
In
I
fact,
get that she was annoying in the cartoon, but that was your chance to make her better.
and that's another thing about Rogue here. She kind of takes the role of Jubilee as being Wolverine's kind of child he runs into and child prodigy he's kind of trying to carve. It's like, seriously, it's so obvious they made Rogue the Jubilee.
Hello.
Including taking some of Jubilee's worst qualities, too.
Yeah.
And now
Also,
he's got to hide from a bunch of kids.
Yeah, it's a stealth mission. Gotta love how in this sequence is essentially Patrick Stewart fucking up with his mind.
Not even so much that.
Oh,
Hello. You just interrupted my lesson.
I was about to go over the great quantities that went into making Star Trek The Next Generation good after the first season.
Yes, because that first season was... Ugh.
Heck, we are the trope namers for growing the beard, after all.
And yeah, I mean, I also do like that, you know, I mean, yeah, this is a safe haven, but it's also a school.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they basically this is the equivalent. This is the film basically saying, "Shelby got to learn something."
And of course,
Not
we're
just
in
that,
New York.
Charles' idea, Professor X's idea, is that not just to provide a safe haven for the mutants, but to still have them understand their powers. In a way, much aside from the racing stuff, is also a metaphor for puberty and sexuality, discovering your own body and everything.
Yeah.
Really interesting when you think about it.
So, of course, one of the safest havens is, of course, put in the Marvel Universe of New York City. Safe.
What could... Well, Joe, but to be fair, in this continuity, we don't have much to fear.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, it's more so San Francisco that gets it.
Well, we'll get to San Francisco later on.
In due time, yeah. So, the big question with everyone, at least the comic and the cartoon fans, will be, is Cyclops not a stuck vessel in this continuity? Well, let's see.
As long as they don't have him kill Xavier.
And spout about the rules, regulations every 5 seconds.
Well, he doesn't kill Xavier.
I'm talking about the comic strips.
Yeah, I know. It's just everywhere I go, people always moan about why isn't he like what he is in the comics? But from what you guys have just told me,
Oh, those are probably...
First waves depends on the character, second depends on the fan, now mix the two things together.
Yeah.
Let me give you an idea, Dwebs. Like, I can speak for Jove and Teo, but I'll speak for me. Like, let me use Spider-Man Homecoming as an example. That movie takes liberties with the source material. However, the reason I still think it's a great adaptation is because even though it's not literally copy-pasted from the comics or anything like that, it knows what makes Spider-Man appealing and gets to the heart of that.
Yeah, I'd say basically the best superhero comic film is one that, pays the best liberties it can to the comics, and, does make some slight changes, but doesn't go out of its way to be, different from the comics just because, well, movie.
It needs to, it doesn't need to be super duper, it just needs to get the core elements of what made the source material great to begin with, and that's what Homecoming does. Like, for example, one of the elements, Evan brought this up when I showed it to everybody else, in Spider-Man at the end, like even though Peter saves it in the end, there's still tragic consequences for the people involved with him. That's a classic Spider-Man element.
Oh, Pyro.
Pyro.
I hate Pyro, the character in general.
Pyro was a villain in the comics movie. I mean, isn't it kind of obvious what's gonna happen? Well,
they literally make, not just that, they never make him actually likable to begin with. They don't give, we're supposed to have this sense of ambiguity with him, but no, we clearly see from the get-go that he's a complete jerk.
He was an Australian a-hole in the comics, and he's not that much different here. He's just not Australian.
Oh, look at that. The Bobby seemed to be, poetic.
Ah, Rogue.
We've already
And no, sorry, Dweebs, this is not a continuity where Bobby will just run away and be with Spider-Man and Starfire.
Wait, what?
Remember, Spider-Man is Amazing Friends.
But Starfire? Oh, right.
Actually,
Don't
no,
you mean
Firestar.
Firestar?
Keep on confusing with the names.
Yeah, wait.
Starfire is.
When you were 17, that's when you first met Eric Lenscher. I think more like when you were 25.
Continuity.
I just came up with a negative example. Webs. And you've actually seen both the source material and the movie, so you can even understand perfectly my argument. The Tintin movie, technically, it kind of is faithful to the source material on a checklist way, but it lacks the soul of what made the source material compelling to begin with.
Yeah.
That's why it's a bad adaptation. It's technically faithful. It goes through the checklist. This happens now. This happens, just like in the book. But it's done in such a terrible way that it doesn't properly represent the appeal of the source material.
So with this, Professor X is giving Wolverine a chance to understand himself and everything.
Because he's got amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Well, hey, at least it's not like other movies where you just give him amnesia.
This is so contemporary, but it's so scary. I can't believe a 2000 movie can still be actual today in this way. It shouldn't be.
Oh, come on, Tail. Let's not forget other stuff like Metal Gear Solid 2, Team America, all that stuff. That's when you recognize genius.
So this is a character from the Marvel
Tragedy,
universe.
yeah.
Senator. God, what was his name?
Well, that the guy? Was that the guy who then got in control for a bit of the Avengers?
Basically, in the TV show, the 90s show, he's, a senator who's, of course, against mutants, but then after the X-Men save him, and when he becomes president, he's more supportive of mutants. God, what was that character's name?
I don't remember.
It's been a while since I've seen the cartoon. Because I'm pretty sure he's dead in the comics at this point.
Yeah, it's not any more important. Yes, we're gonna build a wall and shit.
The ocean.
The mysteries of the ocean.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Mystique.
Who, for some reason in this version, is naked.
Oh, and I'm quoting right now already what every single time cinema scenes say about this. For once, I want to see one of these people who actually, when Mystique reveals to himself, actually saying that she's still hot.
Well, she is.
No, but that's the thing, Dweebs. That's the main kind of like a running gag in these movies. Every time she's impersonating already a woman, when she changes back, her victims go back in disgust or something. And how it should have ended actually did a parody of this.
It's Rebecca Vermidgen. How is that not hot?
That's my argument, Dweebs. I'm totally not gonna fall in love with you.
That and I'll admit, I've got a bit of a thing for the taller women.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll say no more about that because it's an X-Men commentary. Well, not like this movie's much better than look. It's suspension.
Yep.
Whoop.
Just be careful with the X-ray stuff, since a skeleton may react weirdly.
Hey, House won't be around for 4 more years yet.
There you go. His entire skeleton is fused with indestructible metal.
Dwibs, everybody lies.
True.
Yeah, hard to determine.
Where to save that for the second movie.
Yeah. Which then Origins will butcher, but whatever.
I think out of the X-Men films, my favorite is the second.
X-Men 2. That's a lot of people's favorites. If it isn't Days of Future Past or Logan.
Yeah, I have not seen Logan yet.
I think you'll like Logan.
Yeah.
Well, it's Old Man Logan, isn't it?
It's basically a Western.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Senator has been kidnapped by the baddies.
The
Brotherhood of
Brotherhood.
Mutants.
Yeah, the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Like evil.
And to be fair, the group is pretty much faithful to its core members. The only one major that's missing is Blob, and we know what happens to him in Origins.
Well, he also shows up in X-Men 3, kinda.
Sorta.
Movie forgot.
Yeah, sorry, your friend is dead.
Speaking of which, okay, I'm not going to spoil exactly the contents of it, but I'm just gonna say this movie's continuity's version of Mystique has some really messed up history.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like Days of Future Past, but let's just say in hindsight, this makes me think, what the hell, Mystique?
You just don't contradict Ian McKellen. Come on.
He's Ian McKellen, damn it.
Uh-oh.
Whoop.
Yeah, don't fear me. I'm gonna be Gandalf in a year.
That's
Hell, technically, I was almost done filming Lord of the Rings at this point. Well, no, not me, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, don't worry, Dweebs. Okay.
So yeah, now he's going to enact a test of his master plan.
Machine!
Yep, to spin this machine around.
Spin to
You
win.
spin me right around, baby, right round, like a franchise that will go on for 17 years.
At least.
That face.
No.
Now the entire world will be populated by Ian McKellen clones.
Oh,
I
God.
wouldn't mind.
Congratulations, your acting
that
ability.
2000 CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all.
Hey, how come we're not affected?
Because we're already mutants, apparently.
Yeah. Whoop.
And there we go. Although it does take quite a bit out of
The person powering
Yeah.
it.
Magneto.
Logan, don't be so direct. Come on.
Hey, mind your own business.
I get that he's Canadian, rough, and everything, but don't jump on first base immediately. Come on.
Yeah, I can move all kinds.
That line. How he asks, so what can you do? And she says, all kind of things. That right there sums up how much of a clusterfudge Jean Grey's character is.
Yeah, basically they had to pick powers out of a hat for my film version.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, Twips.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're consistent with it in this film. Well, these films, I should say.
Alright, she's gonna try reading inside his mind.
To get his memory.
Wow, you look really similar to a guy from a video game in about 17 years.
You don't say, huh?
What?
I'm not thinking about it, we're not.
Hey, Prince Charming.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, he's played by Jason Marsden, who would later go on to be in Enchanted.
Yep. Oh, great.
Yeah, Cyclops, keep believing that. Poor Cyclops. He may be a stuck-up dick, but he's also one of the most tragic figures in the entirety of the X-Men franchise.
That, the issue is that for some reason Marvel likes to forget about that and just focus on him being...
But actually, sometimes no, Jova. Remember, Cyclops was right.
Which time? He's been right so many times.
Avengers vs. X-Men. He was entirely the only sole voice of reason, but because Captain America done goofed, we know what happened.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to tearing apart Avengers vs. X-Men. But yeah. See, here's...
The only thing you need to know, Dweebs, not complicated stuff, it's when Marvel recently started loving having the heroes fighting each other instead of the bad guys. That's it.
And Avengers vs. X-Men ended badly for both
Oh no,
sides.
maybe he's remembering something.
You know, the problem too is like, well, whenever Cyclops ends up being right, it's when he's at his douchiest, or they just try and make it, oh, well, he may have been right, but he was the bad guy.
Essentially, Jova is Squidward. That's pretty much what he is.
Jason
Really.
Marsden plays Squidward in the live action movie.
There you go. Yeah, the problem is that in order to get his adamantium skeleton,
Oh, crud.
you fucking killed her.
Crap. Yeah, basically, don't sleep next to Logan because he might have a nightmare and.
Don't worry, though. Thankfully, I think it was Rogue he stabbed.
Yeah, she's rogue. So essentially, what she needs to do is
Use his powers.
to borrow a bit of his.
Excuse me, do you mind if I borrow a bit of your healing powers?
That,
You know,
those faces.
Boy, it sure is lucky.
I'm almost done.
It sure is lucky that only Rogue was the one who got stabbed.
Don't enter, kids. He's 18 plus beer.
Well, fuck. No, don't die. You've got 17 more years left, man.
How will Deadpool have a brilliant sidekick in his third movie? I can't dream.
I can't believe Wolverine's freaking dead.
Again.
So, Tio, any bets on how they're gonna end up bringing Wolverine back eventually?
Or the movies or the comics.
Comics.
They invented everything.
Yeah. That reminds me.
New child created by the genetic seed. There you go.
And I forget. Did Red Skull go through with eating Xavier's brain?
Oh, been a while, Joe. I don't know.
Because if he did.
Anyway, let's go back to the
this.
senator,
who's about to discover that he has a new gift.
Mm-hmm. Bonk.
Bonk.
That's some terrible CGI right there.
Mommy, help!
Yeah, his face is already weird or by normal. You don't need to stretch it. That CGI. Do we really need to see this?
Well, okay, it looks better from the side, but
Yeah, definitely. Ugh.
whoop. What's he done now?
It's like a video game level.
Oh fuck!
Maybe you should have had a better cell, you know.
Ugh. Do you think maybe we should have picked what powers he has?
Well, if I could do that, I wouldn't have left it up to such chance, now would I have?
You come here often?
One of us indeed.
But I don't want to be Aquaman.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Sorry to leave you hanging, bub. Oops.
Crap.
Sabretooth, you don't goofed.
Well, it's his fault he had butterfingers.
Sabretooth. I told you.
That's Sabretooth.
I told you to grab him by the clothes.
Well, I did, and here's the end result. His sleeve.
Yeah, that's pure disgust.
In fact, you can stay there and think about what you've done.
Well, screw you, I'll just crawl out and climb up the mountain.
Oh, there we go.
God, the sequel to Jaws is something else?
Yeah. Metaphor.
Man, that was the best swim I've ever had.
In the nude.
Sorry, I thought this was a nudist beach.
Yeah, it's Nudisto Bicho from
hi,
Kill la
Stanley.
Kill.
Yeah, Stanley, there he is.
Yeah,
Hey,
Stanley is like
Stan.
the hot dog owner.
Hey,
No,
Stan.
actually, he's the one getting the hot dog.
So
okay.
was this the first of his cameos?
I don't think he was in Blade.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this was the first.
Yeah.
Wow.
That could be the thing. Fox can say, "Ha, we started it."
And yet he didn't say anything. Well, Fox, you may have started it, but then you also ended it with Van Forstick on your own property.
Yeah.
Well, then again, he didn't. I don't think he appeared in Logan, but that wouldn't have.
Well, yeah, that would be. Well, yeah, true, but that's the thing.
Honestly,
with Logan, it's fine.
With
because
Logan,
it's-
it wouldn't have fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Logan, it's fine because Logan is that storyline is just overall dark and gritty to begin with, anyway. But Fantastic Four is just that movie never has been a more stupid attempt at trying to make something dark and gritty, something that is not dark and gritty, and there's no need. It's like making Tintin dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
You know, I don't mind Anna Paquin. I just mind the character.
Are we talking about Rogue again?
Yes.
Yeah, Rogue crawling in my skin. Like, seriously, part of the charm of Rogue in the original source material was that she could be spunky about it. It's like, well, I mean, yeah,
that was due to their stereotypes.
It turned out it was Mystique as Bobby.
Okay, thanks.
Oh.
How easy is it to infiltrate this school? No wonder it gets
More
blown
than
up
you can imagine, Dweebs.
No wonder it gets
To be honest,
blown up all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, that's what they say. Also in the comics, it happens all the time. He gets blown up, destroyed in every kind of
Or
imaginable
invaded,
way.
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wish Xavier tried to move location.
It's weird.
I mean, Magneto had the idea to use Genosha, but we know what happened to that.
You'd think that a place that's, owned by a psychic would kind of have better security.
Especially
Now
with the
it's
technology we're
Cerebro.
about to see. Yeah, Cerebro.
Yeah,
whatever
this.
it's called.
Yeah, basically, this is what Professor X uses to amplify his powers, so that he can see everything going on, and as well as seeing. So if a mutant gets lost,
The only things he cannot see are things that are, shielded by
Yes.
metal stuff like Magneto with his helmet.
I think
he's managed. Yes, he's managed to shield himself by wearing a bloody helmet.
I think there were some cases where Wolverine was also able to shield because
Thanks to
technically
the
his
adamantium, but it depends on the story.
and the writer.
There's also the Juggernaut, but it's not for this story to.
Juggernaut, who originally was not a mutant, but you know what? Whatever.
Hey, you know what's funny, Jova? They actually recently, one recent comic actually answered the most, asked question by the fans. What happens? Well, hold on, I'll say it after this sequence because actually it's cool.
Yeah. Now we get this universe's this film series' take on Cerebro.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Okay. Now, yeah. Kivadze, this is what Google was like. Okay. Google, find Rogue.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rogue ran away. She does that a lot.
The one that's just called Rogue. Rogues usually run away. Ugh, she's at the bloody train station again.
New York Central Station.
She's at Station Square.
Wait. Why are you the reason she took off?
He blames himself because of the accident of last night.
Yeah, and she had to absorb his healing factor so that she could heal from the stab wound. Also, you guys aren't hearing the rain from here, are you?
No, Dweebs.
Not really.
Wow, again, real great security. You can just allow motorcycles to be stolen.
Don't you see, Wolverine needs to be badass.
This school security is almost as bad as Hogwarts.
Whoa, apparently it's
88 miles per hour.
Oh, God, Bubs, you should have told me that you had super motorcycles.
In fact, I'm going to ask you guys, what has worse security, Professor X's school or Hogwarts?
That's tough.
That's really tough.
That is extremely tough.
I'm,
So
I'm gonna say with Professor X school because Hogwarts at least had the benefit of the doubt of being built by people who are too idiot to be shielded by actual guns and everything.
Not just that, but Hogwarts can only be found and achieved to be entered by magical people, whereas Professor Xavier's school, I mean,
It's pretty
yeah.
much out in the open.
It's a mansion off somewhere off the coast of New York or somewhere.
Yeah, because we all know it's incredibly easy to hide in New York.
Well, just as Godzilla, apparently.
Yeah.
and the lizard and Dr. Octopus.
Whoop.
Like
Hi.
Doug said in his review, a city of whatever billion people, I don't know what the population is today, is a good place to hide.
Hey, cool shades, man. Where can I get them?
Watchdogs.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Remember, Mystique.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
but right, yeah.
Welcome,
okay.
Professor. Hey, is it me, or do you think? Hey, is it me, or if you had a hairdo?
Oh god, Bobby with Mystique's boobs.
You.
Okay, so now, now is the plan.
Gonna
They're gonna
sabotage.
sabotage Cerebro.
That's
And put
that's
in.
that's
A bit of
also
a Jewish.
Also, Joe, but that's a microaggression towards transgender people, so I'm gonna have to punch you. Sorry.
And again, the professor doesn't notice.
Yeah.
maybe his mind powers are selective at his.
I think my only issue is that that's literally all she has to do to sabotage Cerebro. Like, seriously? Cerebro's that easy to sabotage Xavier?
That's also what bothers me because it doesn't connect. It's not something that's being injected in the professor. It's just, like kind of like a helmet that just amplifies him. What does the fluid come into play?
It's poison.
Yeah, but I know he needs to be like
And
injected
maybe
or
the fluid
breathed
acts as
in.
like something to cool his mind because remember he's amplifying it across like a very large area.
There,
I guess.
Rogue. I'm sure we'll have plenty of adventures for you to properly develop and truly become one of the
wait.
team. Oh, wait.
And don't worry, Rogue. You'll be an X-Men Days of Future Past, alternate cut.
Wait. So, wait. Oh, that's right. Rogue got cut out of Days of Future Past.
And I didn't care.
Oh, yeah,
In fact, that's the one time I'm actually I'm gonna avert the special edition rule. We're not doing the Rogue cut of Days of Future Past.
Why not? Does it change much, or does it just add stuff on?
No, it just had Rogue's there. That's it.
And she does some things.
Did they address... Wait, how can she do anything when she's lost her powers by that point?
Remember, I think that's the... Well, it doesn't matter. That film retcons the whole series anyway.
Yeah. Thank goodness, including Origins.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. We'll stick with the regular cut. Hi.
Product placement kid.
Oh, Mom, I wanted those shades. 17? Oh.
What the fuck? Hello.
Wow, how ironic. I'm being grasped by a giant cat, man.
No.
Maybe this actually could be good inspiration for that Catwoman film I signed up for. Hope it turns out good.
Ah,
Yeah,
that CGI tone.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
hey,
here's the problem. Cyclops' power are devastating if not controlled.
close your eyes.
amazingly, his eyes can actually block out the rays. But yeah, as long as he has his eyes open, yeah, that's coming out.
That can happen.
And Storm, of course, is one of the most powerful X-Men ever.
So she can do that.
She's too OP, please Capcom nerf.
Which they did for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Too much. Ha. He spoke.
Well, again, Ray Park doesn't have that many lines. Again, he's good at doing the physical stuff, doing the martial arts and all that, but he can't act.
Well, do you remember, Dweebs? He spawned the entire butterfly kick move for all the Star Wars video games to use.
Run! It's Ian McKellen! He's gone mental!
Again?
Hello.
Don't worry, it's Gandalf. We'll be safe. He's had a shave.
That ain't
Um,
Gandalf, kid.
Yeah, Wolverine, I'm not sure it's the best idea.
Yeah. Crap. Ugh. I told them make it the non-magnetic metal. Oh wait, that doesn't exist.
Ow. Now
Ow.
that hurts.
Ugh.
You know, there's actually a nice throwback to this in Days of Future
Symbolism.
Past.
Oh, fuck.
Well, crud, usually the bad guys usually want me for my healing factor.
Yeah,
Believe
why
me.
does he want Rogue, though?
But believe me, I don't want Rogue as much as you don't. But yeah, I have no option.
Because Rogue can apparently drain energy, fuel it back into herself.
Yep.
So,
Ow.
huh.
Young people, they always run away from stuff. Well, this is a
Awkward.
interesting predicament.
You will do Lord of the Rings free.
Oh boy, here we go. This is definitely one of the highlights of the entire movie.
Yep.
Yeah, him using his magnetic powers against the cops.
Oh, crud.
Ooh.
Run! This is like playing with action figures. Whoop. We should have bought the wooden guns.
Wooden guns? Yeah, problem, Dave. Boats don't have ammo in them. You know what we need? Oh.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. With
Let's
Xavier
just say that
speaking,
Manito loves to be a bit too trigger happy.
and of course, with Xavier controlling them, they have British accents now. Unless
Ray
that's...
Park is British.
Oh, never mind then. I guess that was just Ray Park.
Ooh.
Let's just say Ultimate X-Men. Xavier is all too happy to do that, Bob.
Ugh, what do I do? I can't kill Ian McKellen. He's my best friend.
In real life or in movie?
Yeah, they seem really chummy.
Wow. So it's incredibly fitting.
I'll give you to the count of 10.
Steve Carell, is that you?
1, 10.
He dead. Or maybe not.
Oh, snap.
But the bullet's still going in him.
No, it's not yet. He stopped it. Oh,
No, it's
now
still-
he's
it's going-
forcing
it's
it in
going in.
slowly.
Can I just walk away?
Yeah, that could be actually a good point.
Ugh, what was that? Ugh, you didn't convince me the last 6 times you said that. Welcome to Regiment Airways. I hope you enjoy your flight.
Is that a blue naked British woman?
Yes.
The manual didn't train us for this.
Well, Shane, actually, sir, Shane British.
Oh. Whew.
and then he just shoots them anyway. Not even funny. Ugh, I can still feel the bullet.
I feel incredibly violated to the nth degree, Bob. Oh yeah, this is before he knew about the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Charles, you saw him with a helmet in first class.
Yeah.
I like first class, but it does also raise a couple of issues with the continuity.
And like I said, screw Mystique.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Well, in some future, Storm turns out to be your wife, Logan.
Nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, believe it or not, there have been several bouts where, of course, the comics and even the show ship Wolverine and Storm.
I think one of these is actually X-Men Noir. I think.
I believe so.
Oh, hello there.
Oh.
Okay, he needs help.
Hey. This is ironic. I was busting your ass a few days ago.
Yes.
Oh, great, I'm gonna look like a huge hypocrite, aren't I?
Yes, to say the least.
But don't worry, we are not like, them.
It is kind of a shame what's going to happen to the senator, since in the show he actually does go on to help them politically.
Mm-hmm. Personal space, Patrick.
You're not gonna kiss me, are you?
Ah. Jesus. There we go.
Lens flare of doom, literally.
Oh my god, I can walk again. Oh wait, memory.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a contractual obligation. Patrick Stewart asked to walk in at least one scene.
Well, don't worry, Xavier. I'm sure sometime in the future they'll make a special drug for you that allows you to walk.
Yes. Are you referring to comics or movies?
You know what happens also in Days of Future Past, right?
Yeah.
There you go. After
I
the
mean-
operation, Mystique removed Magneto from the
don't
machine.
don't get me wrong. I get why he doesn't use it as much, but why he doesn't use it at all, though? You know, it's weird. For as much as I do love those movies, in hindsight, I get... Okay, Days of Future Past, I can kind of get, even though it contradicts stuff, it at least was, the one to retcon stuff. However, there's still the issues with First Class.
I don't know. You could tell me she's annoying as fuck.
Hey, by the way, Bubs, remind me to actually treat Rogue like I'm treating her now, and that I totally don't forget that me and her are apparently this unbreakable duo father-daughter kind of bond in the sequels. Yeah, seriously, Wolverine kind of forgot about that.
Power transfer. They're going to transfer stuff over, and bam. That's how range to cover the whole city of New York.
And of course, where are they gonna broadcast it from?
I wonder.
I think he at this point he knows he's kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Hey, are you sweating? It's not been that long. This room ain't that warm.
His mom's wedding needs queen forgetting Mom's
spaghetti.
Yes.
Are you there, Pedro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, see, I haven't talked much.
I don't have much to say about this movie. It's okay. It does things well. It's just that I don't find it to be particularly it doesn't particularly stand out to me. It's just
the sequels, the future films are better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. It's just that this one in particular is not exactly the best origin story movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is part of why Spider-Man was more so the movie that got superheroes back on the map. Like, don't get me wrong, this movie is good, but it kind of plays things a bit safe. And I don't mean in they don't do the stuff that X-Men does, but you can tell they play a lot of things quite safe.
Crap.
It kind of goes through.
Sorry, the center just operated.
It kind of goes for the checklist and does what it needs to, but it doesn't particularly go out to do anything all that spectacularly.
Yeah. Now, Spider-Man was spectacular, no pun intended, because, they went all out. They got the big-time actors. They went up and above. They didn't care if things were going to look silly here and there because, still narrative-wise, overall it worked. And, they actually started off by bringing in the big bads.
No, Professor, don't.
By the way, you never think to check these things beforehand since it's so easily manipulated?
Oh, I really need to get better security for the next time.
Oh, crud.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, it's,
Knocked him out.
I guess poisoned him neurologically? There you go, fangirls. Bare-chested Picard.
In 2000, but still.
Yeah.
Good lord,
Age
yeah.
over. Even the eye needs his part.
He has a lot of chest hair.
Well, I think Patrick Stewart at this point was in his late 50s.
Ha, how ironic. He has chest hair. Pretty much hair everywhere except,
now they fixed it.
And of course, because Jean Grey's all that in a bag of chips, who else would we have to look for all the mutants?
Well, remember, she said she can't really do it because she's not exactly...
Because
She's not as strong as Professor X.
Trust me, Dwibs, she's BSing there. Like, Tio can vouch for me, she's BSing when she claims she's not as strong enough. Hell, the start of X-Men 3 pretty much shows she's BSing.
Yeah.
Well, now she's gonna try.
Yeah, again, it's part of a checklist. Hero believes they can't do it, the odds are too great, only now they can do it. I'll say this. While Spider-Man 2 does have issues, the whole can they or can't they do this thing is done better there because, for one thing, you actually have a better course of the movie to build up to it. With Jean, have we even really gotten to know her character really here?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Jean, I told you, don't do it.
By the way, I was totally able to do it.
It took a lot out of me, but still.
Yes, it took so much out of you.
Well, it did. I mean, look.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap.
Those eyebrows on Sabretooth, by the way.
Did I just see a guard? Oh. Oh, never mind. For a second, I thought that boat driver was just really dumb, but it was you just got this bitch.
And of course, Ellis Island.
See, the thing is, the reason I'm not saying much is because there's nothing all that much I can say other than that it's fine. There's nothing particular. There's no particular complaints that I have, but there's also nothing particularly. There's nothing also in particular that I want to compliment because it's good. It does what it wants to, and that's it.
Okay.
I love how he turned the guard into a freaking pancake.
Yeah, okay, let's compare this to the start of the MCU with Iron Man. Now, the way Iron Man started off, now Iron Man is by no means the best of the MCU films, but it was a pretty good start. It had a protagonist who we got to know pretty much around all centers here and there, a pretty crafty narrative, and a lot of cool scenes with him doing his heroic stuff. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna admit, while we do get to see more action here, this movie does kind of fall into a trap that a lot of origin films fall into, not actually seeing the heroes do what they regularly do up until near the end. Because, to be fair...
I think with Iron Man, it was 8 years later, people had more...
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, though, again, Spider-Man 2002 did that better, though.
There was like a whole slew of superhero movies, so it's not like the genre was new at the
Yeah, and again, Dwibs, 2 years later, Spider-Man showed how to do it. Join me and together we can shape the genealogy of humankind.
Sorta.
Also, welcome to
the galaxy as father... Oh, no, wait. Old guy and younger girl.
So join me, or welcome to die.
Yes.
Really? Welcome to die.
I get the feeling there's going to be a certain red-clad superhero who's going to make fun of me for that.
Put her in the machine.
Of course, we're gonna use the Statue of Liberty to broadcast it.
It's always
How
the fucking
ironic.
Statue of Liberty.
Pedro, come on. If he can be piloted by a Super Nintendo controller, I guess he can do also this.
But she was
Yes.
being used for good then.
Why don't you see, Jova? Ghostbusters are a menace. Oh, hi, Twin Towers.
You know,
Guys, we got to stop this. Otherwise, at the age of 5 years old, Jova will turn into a mutant.
if they have anything that can pick up our jet, they deserve to catch us. Remember that line in this franchise. Oh, yes, oh, wait, this
Oh,
line.
yeah, here we go.
Ugh, these seatbelts are really uncomfortable.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Well, in this case, it's nights. So.
I mean, I'll be quite honest. Another thing I don't like too much about this one is that it does one of those. It does the version of X-Men where they all have the same uniform. Like, I prefer the versions where the X-Men have their own specific, different designed uniforms as opposed to just the same one. I mean, that's more of the Fantastic Four's deal.
Not
Oh,
just
there we go,
that,
the
like,
Blackbird.
not just that, like, it can create some confusion in action scenes. It helps to have color-coded dudes.
Especially if those scenes are shot in the dark.
Which they tend to be a bit.
Although First Class kind of had a similar problem, and the stuff was all yellow there.
Fun thing about that, Dwibs, that was paying homage to the first ever line of X-Men. Here's a thing a lot of people don't remember. The first line of X-Men, which was kind of just Beast, who was not blue at the time, Jean, Cyclops, and Angel.
Iceman.
Oh yeah, and Iceman. Yeah, that was... Let's just say back then the X-Men were really simple, and I mean real simple back then. As in, they were sort of touching base on the big elements of X-Men that we know and love.
Look, it's the Virtual Boy.
But not really. And for that line was kind of panned, and no one really speaks too highly of it. It's just paid homage to. See, X-Men only really became a big deal when we got to the generation that introduced the likes of freaking Storm, Wolverine, Beast became Blue, and we had a lot of other new characters who you're probably more familiar with. And of course the different designs here and there.
I'll be honest though, Jova.
What?
It's been a while since I've seen X-Men cartoon, but I have seen some specific scenes. Judging from the sound of it, they handle some stuff there with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer.
Well, okay, to be fair.
There was one line in
Honestly,
particular where they were shout. There was actually one line in particular where some guy was shouting over and over, "I know, I know."
Well, there's several reasons for that.
Honestly, for the themes, these media has never been subtle to begin with.
And to be fair, a bit of that is a bit of truth in television because, let's just say, Dweebs, the civil rights era was just as hammy as that, if not more. Like, I mean, really.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the gags in this piece of the movie.
What fucking Wolverine, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I will give the Ultimate Comics book 1.
There we go.
Even Jason Morrison has to crack a smile at that. I will give the Ultimate X-Men line this. There's actually a funny scene where Wolverine, who at the start is working for the Brotherhood of Mutants after... Wait, what?
She's disguised herself as a Statue of Liberty statue.
Pretty sure she can't do that. She cannot change her body to, be a different material. Like if
it's
she
like
could
those people in the Dark Souls PvP who transform into object and just blend in the background.
Maybe she was pretending to be a really good cosplay.
I'm sorry, but Mystique, I'm afraid that this is the Marvel Universe. It's the DC one who has
And now Hugh Jackman versus Hugh Jackman.
Boy, if only we brought our psychic with us to tell which one's the real one. Oh, there we go.
Okay, now at least we know which one's the real one, the one that had her claws cut off.
Although, apparently, according to the Wolverine, he can also get his claws cut. Even though I'm pretty sure adamantium's supposed to be unbreakable.
Well, to be fair, in that case, that was a really, really, really hot thing.
But adamantium's supposed to be whatever.
That got retconned anyway, so
Yeah.
Wait, the Wolverine got retcon?
everything got retconned.
Oh,
What are you
right.
doing, Toad? Oh.
Oh,
That's gross.
Okay, Storm, stop him. Stop him?
I bet you loved that little spit take I did.
Also, that blur.
Strike him with lightning?
I'm not outside yet. Besides, there's no skylight or anything.
Yeah, but aren't you usually able to procure lightning from your body if Marvel
Also,
vs.
for context, Toad is one of the weakest members of the Brotherhood. You're getting wrecked by him. Come on, man.
I mean, seriously, having Storm get jobbed by Toad? Really? And for that instance, Storm can actually conjure some elements from her own body. It's just the powers she happens to use the most are wind and lightning. She can technically also alter the ground.
Man, I wish I could turn into a sword. Oh no, wait, that won't work.
Ow.
That'll grow back eventually. But yours won't.
I could just use my powers.
Oh yeah, your powers. What, so you can turn into a famous celebrity actor?
I am one, sort of.
Sure, honey.
Okay.
Really?
What the fuck, man?
You know what this reminds me of?
The
That
choreography of these fight sequences is weird.
You know what this reminds me of? That X-Men cartoon that tried to have Mystique. Yes, someone thought it was a good idea to pit Mystique against Storm. That went about as well as you can imagine.
Yeah. There we go.
See,
Yeah,
she
there you
can.
go.
See, she can procure lightning right there. Let's see, Toad. You can use your tongue, and you're approaching someone who can do all that. What's your plan here?
An umbrella?
You're not
You're
the
not
penguin.
Whitey Coyote, fuck off.
That'll blow you away.
Whee!
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Oh, shut up. Oh yeah, this line.
That.
Wow.
Yeah, David, that wasn't one of your best.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason people found that line awesome was Halle Berry's take on it. And even still, that was more so meme territory.
But is he really him?
Okay. Something only he would know.
Crud, I don't know
what
him
ki-
that well.
Where were you born?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That's the twist.
And Mystique is, by all intents and purposes, dead.
Let's just keep that in the back of our brain for now.
Don't worry, it'll get better.
By the way, originally Mystique is actually sort of rogue.
Oh yeah, I love this bit too.
Okay, that was one of the best lines.
Yeah, you're a dick.
Okay.
See, David, you can do good one-liners.
Yeah.
By the way, Jova, a question. Did they actually film in the Statue of Liberty?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Filming, okay, basically so much as entering the Statue of Liberty these days is tough, so...
Well, these days, but back in the day at least.
I do not know.
I mean, remember, this is Fox way before they started just staying in Vancouver.
Oh, crud.
Ah, crap.
Turns out a guy in a metallic tower is actually rather OP. How convenient that he happened to strap us near together, though, honey.
Can we at least kiss each other before we die? And yeah, in case you're wondering, well, why don't Storm just zap him or something? They'll explain that in a bit.
True.
Yeah,
Oh.
don't.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, don't use your thingy.
Okay. Okay. That was clever.
So what actually happens? Does nothing happen, or do they all die?
What, you mean if Storm uses her lightning?
Yeah.
It's incredibly conductive.
Yeah, it's like what Magneto said. That the metal of the entire structure will have everyone being conducted to death.
Basically like this, Dwibs, as long as Magneto is standing on the surface, if she shocks him, chances are, considering how powerful her lightning is, it's gonna go through his body, knock him out, but then of course it's going to travel across the grates and, well, yeah, everything that's metal connects to each other.
Mamma mia. What accent is even supposed to be like? Mexican?
Why is
Isn't
Maybe.
that them?
Why is it that the president of the United States is always in danger in movies?
I don't know. At least Resident Evil 4 has his daughter.
Yes, who he entrusts just one single man to.
To be fair, Jova, that man is Leon fucking Kennedy. Come on.
True, but... You're playing fast and loose, Mr. President.
Well, I don't intend to die, you know. And hey, I can take over the world and kill an annoying little city. You should be grateful.
All this symbolism.
He makes a good point, but I can't let that happen.
Can we just save her real quick so she'll shut up?
Leon.
Like, okay, look, I get it, movie. You're making Rogue younger here, but god dang, even Jubilee wasn't like this. At least she had cool one-liners.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say. What the fuck happened? Did it with Rogue? I don't understand what was their thought process. Really, it's so weird.
Yeah.
The twist doesn't even make any sense.
And that's another...
Well, she gets less and less screen time as this trilogy goes on, so...
That's not the way to properly fix the issue. Unless...
That's avoiding the issue.
Unless she was a scrappy already, like Captain Marvel is.
Yeah.
Which one? There's like 80 of them.
The current one in the comics, Carol Danvers.
Maybe the movie will do it right then.
Hey, how do we make our female character, who's essentially we're turning into a ripoff of Wonder Woman complex? Let's give her a drinking problem, make her temperamental, bad, and kind of stupid at times.
Hey, you're referring to Carol Danvers, Jova?
Yes.
Yeah, let's also give her a lesbian cut for the haircut for no reason at all.
This seems to be a thing with Marvel Comics nowadays.
Oh,
Like,
don't you remember how they also shipped her with Spider-Man to try and make her more likable too? Go on, Pedro.
Yeah, go ahead, Pedro.
Seems to be a thing with Marvel Comics that I don't understand. Like, let's completely change our characters to the opposite of what they're supposed to be, and that equals subversion.
Yeah.
Not just that, it's most likely wanted to appease also to the Tumblr audience and everything.
It's like, look at DC Comics. Their superheroes have actually progressed and stuff to the point where several of them have... Oh.
Brian, what are you doing?
How does that even work?
Metal on metal. Oh, crud.
All right, I'm coming.
And you're going down. I'll spend a week thinking about one.
Oops, sorry.
But yeah, I'll give DC Comics this. They've actually gone to the point where they actually had a comic book storyline that undid killing off Leanne Harper in DC Rebirth. Like, dang. Someone must have woke up at DC Comics.
Too bad that some of the things they traded in are still not flying that much to me.
Mm-hmm. Sabretooth, you were just writing Wolverine. Do you really think you can get rid of him that easy, especially considering what you know about him?
Yeah.
And no, people, it's not just X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie clearly hints that Sabretooth has a thing for Wolverine. Oh, yeah. Pew!
Zap.
Bye, Sabretooth.
Maybe he'll be okay.
Maybe.
Let me check IMDb. Nope, he's dead. Why can't you control it?
Plot convenience. If only there was an actual other X-Men that could throw you like, a fastball special move.
I take it that X-Men isn't in the lineup.
Not yet.
Not yet. But hey, Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine getting to work together, that is pretty awesome since they were I think they're the three most popular of the X-Men at the time.
Use the Force.
Pretty much.
Why, it's Fox.
We.
Hugh Jackman for the 9th Star Wars film? This feels intense.
Too much
Bob.
less flair.
Gene, stop this crazy thing.
And then that year, a young and budding director named J.J. Abrams' life was changed forever when he realized how cool lens flare could make stuff look.
No, don't.
I must!
Again, why did I say metal?
Oh, jeez. That's CGI. God damn it. Oh, there you go. Now she's developing her white haircut. Yeah.
Ow.
Ow. Next time I'm getting a wood coating.
Mom? You remember how that evangelist, Jehovah's Witness, said that the bathing light would be coming?
Yeah, there's no time to argue about that now. Let's just run away.
Okay. He's taking the shot.
And zap.
Huzzah!
And thus the day was saved.
Yes.
Just
Because,
barely.
actually, yeah, surprisingly enough, it's Cyclops who saved the day.
Ah.
There, you done screaming, kid.
I think she's done doing anything.
Yay! Nice haircut.
Thanks.
Gotta need to incorporate stuff from before.
Yep.
Why does it have to be her? Oh, right. I give you the gift of life.
Yeah, I'm Jesus, baby.
What even is that healing?
He's healing her with the power of
Love.
well, not love per se.
What was Dumbledore's speech at the end of Harry Potter 1?
It was love.
And again, the sequels will just have him go, oh, hey, you exist, bye.
There we go.
Ow. Ow, okay.
Jesus.
Oh, crap.
Does this mean I can die at least?
No, not yet.
Those expressions.
Oh my god, I'm alive! And I feel 10% more badass for some reason.
Ugh,
She feels more Canadian.
Hey,
Hey, I thought you were supposed to be Canadian. Why do you have Australian blood?
Long story, Bob. It's all in the lineage.
And the actor.
Also, I was technically once actually living in America, I think, at some point.
I think he actually mostly just lives in Australia these days.
Oh, I was talking about X-Men Origins
So there you go.
Wolverine.
Mystique actually managed to get a last time decoy. That's being a decoy.
How that works?
Okay, thanks, Magneto. Bye.
And now Magneto is under arrest.
For now.
Hey, and the X-Men aren't gonna get blamed for this.
What did I miss?
How should I put it like this? You know that adopted sister you used to have?
Yes.
She's kinda being carried out in a body bag.
Well, damn. Not again.
Yeah.
I've got to adopt another sister.
Professor, you don't exactly have the best of luck with adopted sisters.
There you
Hey,
go.
I can try, can't I?
There you go. These wounds are healing. There you go.
Yeah, it just took a while. The tickles. Yeah, that's something I don't know about Wolverine. He's ticklish.
Aww. Fantastic Four, would you say?
It's fantastic.
So, this movie is closer to saying Fantastic Four than Fan Four Stick was.
How bizarre.
Hey, remember? This was originally going to be in continuity with Fantastic Four.
But they
Yeah.
scrapped that well, Fox scrapped that because they saw how shit the movie was. Yeah, my heart belongs to someone else.
Yes, your heart does belong to someone else continuity-wise. Oops.
Yeah, my wife back in Australia.
Logan, did you just get meta with me?
Hey, Deadpool won't be for another 16 years.
Oh no, it's okay. I kind of find that attractive. Have I mentioned that Jean Grey's a bit of a cock tease?
So in order to end the movie on an interesting note, let's do a bit of a tease of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to have to wait till 2003 for that, but still.
Oh, wow. Yep. So the Mutant Registration Act will not be passing, thank goodness.
Because
now.
Kelly reversed it.
Wait, what?
Apparently still alive.
How nice! Oops.
Yes, Mystique.
Okay, I just have to ask, how did Mystique survive being stabbed?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's one thing the movie's never explained.
Senator Kelly, why did your eyes glow there?
Contact lenses.
Yeah.
Since when did contact lenses glow yellow?
New models and
Since
shit.
now.
They're Stark Industry contact
Bye,
lenses.
Bobby. We're completely useless in this movie.
Hey, Rogue, you have some hair in your mouth.
Yeah, why couldn't we make another take?
It's realistic, dang it.
Maybe she really wanted to eat her hair that day.
The comics ever explain why Rogue has that white streak in her hair?
Forgot.
Yeah.
I think she just died that,
Whereas here, she gets it from...
Magneto young.
Yeah.
Oh no, the power of old people!
A little something to remember him by.
He's, military, like...
Don't lose it, though. It's precious to me.
Don't worry, Logan. I'm sure it'll be a long time until we ever see each other again, and you won't come back in the first few minutes of a second movie.
Semantics, Joe.
Hey, I didn't say I wouldn't come back.
Yeah, let's steal Cyclops' motorcycle. That fucking is much.
Whatever. He's gonna be a dick in Avengers vs. X-Men. Deserves it. Oh, isn't that funny? It's on Salem. Get it? Like this.
Anyway, where you go?
Chest with non-metallic pieces.
Funnily enough, I don't think either of these guys, the actors, actually knew how to play chess, so they just.
Move pieces randomly.
Well, I think they had a little bit of practice beforehand.
Practicing to play chess for a movie. Nice.
Yes, I assure you, security will be upgraded immensely.
Okay,
Well,
Charles,
to be perfectly fair, Dweebs, the way Magneto gets out in the sequel is as ludicrous as you can imagine.
He's talking
Well,
about
I
Xavier's
love it.
school.
I love it.
He's-
I love it though.
He's talking about Xavier's school, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Charles, tell you what. If you can somehow go an entire bout without your entire school being ransacked and several of your students being kidnapped, well, then
Or
I'll
dead.
eat my own helmet.
That reminds me of that fake comic book cover that said, "What if Marvel was like DC Comics in the '60s and where Captain America?" That's Bucky telling, "No, Captain America, you don't need your shield," and Cap is like, "I'm sorry, Bucky, I have to do it or I will die."
How? You know what? If you can actually go a good track record without being anything
There you
bad
go.
having happened
Checkmate.
to your school, I'll actually look after your school if you die, and then be a good guy. Unless I have to pretend to be a bad guy, because it turns out that guy actually wasn't me. It was a fake me. And yes, that actually
Yes,
happened.
I get it. I get it.
And I just say that's only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I forget, is
And
there an
that's
after
it.
credit scene?
No.
No. Remember, this is X-Men. X-Men don't really do after credit scenes.
Hi, David Hayter.
So that was X-Men. I'll go first. I enjoyed this movie minus Rogue. Although I will say I do think the future films do it better. This kind of has a first film
Probably.
wherein that is good, but obviously the other ones for the most part are obviously better.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a good starting point.
Yeah. Anything
Go ahead,
else?
Joel.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that's-
This is a nice start, although it's definitely not the most remarkable movie looking back on. I mean, don't get me wrong. The actors are pretty well, except for Rogues. And the action, when it's done good, is marvelous. And like, I do like how it does incorporate certain effects here and there. I do feel that this movie plays things a little too safe. And I'm not saying that, that they tiptoe around what X-Men are about. No. They're all too glad to show that. It's just, we don't really peer that deeply into the characters. It's like the movie is afraid of, falling into the trap that Batman v Superman did. Being more exposition about the different characters rather than actually being about them doing what they did. Which a fear I can get. The issue is that we don't get to know much about the X-Men, and well, they're kind of a big piece of the puzzle. I mean, the person we get to know the most about, ironically, is Wolverine, who has amnesia. Well, and Rogue, but it's Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do feel that they could have maybe gone more into the Brotherhood, and yeah, Sabretooth kind of got jobbed. But...
Yeah.
as did a lot of people in the action scenes. I will say, though, overall, the positives outweigh the negatives. It's just like Pedro said, though, this does... Okay, when it first came out, people probably liked it, but it wasn't exactly the massive success that would bring superheroes officially out of the dark until Spider-Man, because, yeah, essentially, it's good, but it's definitely something that, fulfills a checklist of sorts. Like, it gets down the right things to be a good movie, but doesn't step out of those boundaries much to be an amazing movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good movie, but the sequels are much better. Next.
All right, I'll go next. Yeah, it's much like you guys said. It's a very admirable first attempt. I would say that essentially it doesn't age that spectacularly, but it's still pretty
Museum
solid.
cop David Hayter.
Eh?
But it's pretty solid on its own, nonetheless. And as much as I don't really care about the X-Men in general, and in some particular cases, yeah, I think this one was enjoyable enough to be considered, its own thing and everything, and the start of many things to come. That's it.
Kevin Feige?
Oh!
Well, remember, Kevin Feige was a Marvel.
In his early days.
Yeah.
Go on, Pedro.
He didn't get. He didn't remember. Well, his being in charge of the of Marvel Studios didn't just fall into his lap. He moved up the ladder.
Yeah, I know. It's just interesting seeing him from this to what he is now.
All right. Yeah, it's okay. That's almost everything I can say about it, because this movie is just one of those movies that feels like it's on autopilot. Like, it did the bare minimum to not suck, but it also doesn't really do anything all that interesting. Like, it's just the basic origin story. And quite frankly, there have been much better takes on the X-Men origin story than this one. And yeah, it's just a basic superhero origin movie that doesn't really stand out in any real way. It's just kind of there. There's nothing wrong about it. It's just that there's nothing particularly right about it either. It's just a very middle of the road movie. And that's basically it. Like, there's literally nothing else to talk about, if you ask me.
This was a movie this is definitely a movie defined by the day it came out, because you can definitely feel the sense of, yeah, superhero movies were coming back, but they didn't want to be too loud about it because, well, the last big superhero movie was Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
To the point where you can even tell with the outfits being dark as opposed to colorful and flashy like Batman and Robin.
I've heard Gary Rydstrom's name before somewhere. I'll have to look it up at some point.
So, yeah. That all, Pedro?
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah.
So
that was X-Men. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time for X-Men 2. X-Men United.
Thankfully, X-Men
Alright.
2 is definitely where the franchise started to pick itself up.
Alright, see ya.
See
See ya.